What's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I got a comment on my last video from, forgive me for pronouncing this wrong, Harsh Parmar, right? Wrong? For a L-sit to handstand tutorial. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, showing you how to go from an L-sit to a handstand. If there's any other movements you guys want to see, put them in the comments below and I'll shoot them and show you how to do them. All right, let's get into it. So with an L-sit to handstand, it's definitely a movement that requires a lot of strength. We will go over how to build that strength a little later in the video. First things first, we want to make sure we're able to hold an L-sit somewhat easily. This is going to help you build the strength you're going to need to go from an L-sit to a handstand. The second thing you're going to need to be able to do is a handstand itself. I actually have a handstand tutorial that I posted a few weeks ago. You can check that out. But basically, on the parallettes, you do need to be able to actually hold a handstand. Something else to think about is getting comfortable falling out of a handstand, because as we work on this L-sit to handstand transition, you're not going to get it the first time, so you're going to be falling out. It's also in my handstand tutorial, but again, you want to be able to get into a handstand and fall out of it very comfortably. Once you're able to do an L-sit and a handstand, then you can start working on that transition from an L-sit to a handstand. This is where things get tricky, and it really requires a lot more strength. So what we're gonna work on first is that transition out of L-sit. There's two ways to do this. You can try to eventually work up to going very slowly and very cleanly up into a handstand, which is a lot harder. But you can also go a lot more quickly, which is gonna make it a lot easier. The faster you make that transition, the easier it is to get up, because you're actually using your momentum. So we'll work on using momentum first, and we'll work on going slower later once you've worked on that strength. So the first thing we're gonna do is basically go from an L-sit to a tuck. That's gonna help us work on our balance. It's also gonna help us work on our strength to make that L-sit to handstand transition. So we're gonna be in this L-sit, we're gonna tuck in, we're gonna transition up into kind of a planche tuck like so. Again, L-sits, transition into planche tuck like so. Something to keep in mind when we're working on this transition, and it's really gonna make a huge difference when we're able to do the actual L-sit to handstand, is when I'm getting into this tuck position, I'm staying basically above my elbows. And what I mean is that I'm not dropping down low like this. The reason this is extremely important is that when you get this low and you're trying to press out of there to get into a handstand, it's extremely difficult. The higher we stay in this tuck transition, we have to press less into a handstand. I want to show you that one more time because it's extremely important. When we are in an L-sit, we don't want to get stuck down here trying to press up, because it's really hard. It takes a lot of strength. What we actually want to do is be start in this L-sit position, tuck higher, so that when we press out of it, it's much easier. So again, from that L-sit position, we want to make that tuck and start in a higher position. Once you've got that L-sit to tuck transition down, you feel good with it and you feel strong. The next thing we're going to work on is stacking. And what I mean is we want to get our weight and our body above our head before extending up into that handstand. A lot of the time when people are starting, they'll tend to start sending their legs out behind them before they get up in the air. That's gonna be really difficult. It's gonna throw you off balance and gonna make it really hard to do an L-sit to handstand. So I'll show you what I mean. As you're in this L-sit, you come up above your elbows. You don't wanna send your legs out too soon, because it's gonna take you back. What we wanna try to do is, again, stack our weight and our body above our head, and then just put our legs into the air. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna be in an L-sit, we're gonna tuck, staying above our elbows, stack our weight, and then send our legs up into the air, the handstand. Now notice, I'm going pretty slow right there, and I'm pressing pretty slow, which does take a lot of energy and a lot of strength, which is gonna be very difficult. I mentioned before, the faster you go using momentum, the much easier it's going to be. Right here, I'm going slowly to show you the technique. Now I'm gonna show you how you can basically be in the L-sit, tuck above your elbows, stack, and send your weight up very quickly to make that transition much easier. So I'm gonna start in this position. I'm basically gonna send my feet out rather quickly into an L-sit and send my weight back up into the handstand rather quickly into a handstand. So here, L-sit, quick transition up, handstand. Your form isn't always going to look the best, and my form with these L-sit handstands isn't always perfect. But again, reps and practice are gonna make it perfect. So the faster you go right here, it's gonna help you with your balance. It's also gonna help you build strength. So go as quickly as you need to get up into that handstand, and as you get better at it, you can slow it down and start working on your strength. So again, going quickly is definitely gonna help you understand how to make this transition from the L-sit to the handstand. The goal though is to do it as slow and as controlled as possible. And the more you work on that, the more strength you're gonna build and the more balance you're gonna find as you're working on these things. So again, I think the key points here are really, once you get comfortable, taking your time from just going from an L-sit to this tuck right here. And you can almost rep this out. This is really gonna help you build strength. It's a great exercise. I'm already getting tired just doing it here. Just doing this. It's really gonna help you build that transition strength. Once you've worked on that, then you're gonna work on just going all the way to that stacked position. So again, slowly and controlled. It's gonna work on your strength. Stacked. Back down. And then once you've got those movements down, you can really do them in a slow, controlled fashion. But then you're just gonna work on literally doing your L-sit and slowly transitioning to your handstand. And then once you've got that down, you're good to go. So that is basically the L-sit to handstand tutorial. When I'm putting these parallettes down, by the way, I probably should have mentioned this at the beginning, I'm putting them about shoulder width apart. You're gonna wanna put them where it's comfortable for you. As you're L-sitting and making that transition to handstand, you're probably gonna feel if you want them closer or wider. Again, I like them just about shoulder width apart. It feels good for me. If any other questions about this tutorial, put them in the comments below. But any other movements you want me to go over, put those in the comments below and I'll shoot them for you. Thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel. Have an awesome day and get after it.